Does everybody see a full screen?
Yes, welcome to North Carolina.
Yes. First in flight. Their state motto's there on the sign, but I'm not going to try to read it. It just to be rather than to seem is their motto. And we're going to come in to North Carolina, coming in like we're coming in from the west coming east, and we'll just go across the state, and I'll be zigzagging across the state as we go. The first place is Asheville, and it's there's so many good places to go that it's hard to all grasp what you can do in North Carolina. If you love leaf change, it's a good place to be in the fall. If you like waterfalls, you can go just south of Asheville, and it's just so many waterfalls that you can see. If you like to hike, you can go through the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. You can do the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's so many things to do, but it's a great place. The thing that's a little different on Asheville is if you want to go out to the Billy Graham Training Center at the Cove, it's a nice stop. We've actually sent our preacher there for training and allow him to refresh himself. His wife went with him. They really enjoyed the opportunity to be there. And that's a chapel on the property. And you can go into it, and it's just a very good place to get back to yourself and to feel good about things. That's off the back porch there in the fall, and you can just see the mountains and the leaf change, and it's just gorgeous there. And you want a place to eat, go into Asheville to the family Papas and Beer. They have a good cilantro bar there and salsa bar. And we've probably eaten there 6 different times. There's 3 different places in town with that name, but we like the one by the tunnel the best. And Tunnel Road, it's just a good place to have Mexican food, and that's a lot to be said from somebody from Texas, where we have plenty of places to pick Mexican food from.
Mhm.
If you're in town there, you can go over to the Biltmore for a place built in the late 1800s, early 1900s. It's just amazing to even be on the grounds to see what the craftsmen have done on this place. It has 3 different gardens, 3 different levels. This is up at the upper level with the lily ponds, and it drops on all the way down to the greenhouse. Well worth your time. We spent all day there, and I tell you, you can do the special tours and spend another 2 days there. If you want to get an idea of the room size, that's a good size table. Those fireplaces are 6 feet tall. So that gives you a good idea. That's not just a little room. It's a very large room. The atrium, just as you come in the door, is very impressive. The pool room's impressive. The library's impressive. It's a good place to go visit. And to think about late 1800s, early 1900s, when electricity was just getting into homes, and they had a swimming pool that was lighted. Now, that's the whole thing about it's just amazing, and the amount of money that they spent, the workmanship that's just obvious everywhere as you look at the outside work, the inside work. It's just amazing the what was done there. And for this to be old, ugly farmland that they got and reworked and had a person come in and develop the landscape. Here we are 100 years later, just enjoying the beauty of the foresight that this person had. That I'm on the back porch there at the Biltmore, and it's just a gorgeous view looking across there. And then if you want to stay on property, they do now have a motel on property and a winery with their own grape vineyards there. So you can enjoy a little fruit, liquid fruit there. You don't have to go very far to the northeast, and the highest peak east of the Mississippi River, Mount Mitchell's there at a whopping 6,684 feet. And it's just, it was argued for a long time that no, this wasn't the tallest, that Grandfather Mountain was the tallest. So as we got more precise machines, this one won out, but this is there close. Dropping down to the cradle of the
you know
forest.
what, Billy?
Yes.
Billy, before we get off the Biltmore, someone just wrote that it is good to get tickets ahead of time to go. What was that experience for you? Anything else you can add to that?
I think we got it 2 days before. And then if you want to do the specialties, like there's a tour that you can go down into the kitchen and do a tour there, or you can do a tour of the forestry, the agricultural park, and that's us. Those can be bought ahead of time. But anyway,
Okay.
it's all good to get them ahead of time.
I went actually in early December one year, and so it was decorated for Christmas, the mansion. But the gardens were still in bloom because it was very early December. And so that was really, if somebody's planning a trip and they want some of like both, that was a good time to go, a real good time.
We're usually there in September, October timeframe, and there's lots of flowers blooming across. It's a very nice place. The other thing that was quite interesting is a great big house, and there was only one child. And I'm just like, oh man, this kid could have got away with anything. And they said, well, not really, because all the people working on the property pretty well kept everybody in tune where she was, what she's doing. Anyway, down south of there is the cradle of the forest, where the forestry school started, and you can go take a tour there. And this particular apparatus runs the sawmill blades, and the belt turns and it turns the blade, and they can cut you some lumber there that way. And they also have this logger machine there, and a million gears, and getting it close and personal. There's lots of things that you can do. And I was probably there 4 or 5 hours. I really enjoyed looking around and learning things that developed into the forest industry itself, and more knowledge about forests. You can go over to Gorgeous State Park. I'm just picking a few. There are lots and lots of state parks in North Carolina. This one has some beautiful waterfalls. Rainbow Falls is very nice. The other one there is Stairway Falls, and these are just a few that's there close. And I love waterfalls, and so for me, I cannot get enough of them, and so I go tracking them down. And depending on the run of the year, how much volume of water certainly changes the picture that you're going to get there. Then if you just go slightly over a little farther, Dupont State Recreational Forest, it has 4 waterfalls in this one area. You can sit at the picnic table, eat a meal, and look at the waterfalls while you're eating your picnic lunch there. And I like 3 of the waterfalls really well. This one here is Triple Falls. It falls here, and then falls down here. And that's about 150 feet of height difference. And it's very beautiful. Lanee and I were sitting at a picnic table, and I just took this picture while we were eating. This is High Falls with about 150 feet. Well, it's 120 feet of drop, but very, very beautiful fall. And this one is Bridal Falls. And again, it's a large one. And I watched this one year, early September, and the kids would get on this and just slide all the way down. And I was like, that's a little speed for me. I don't know if I want to slide down this thing as fast as they were going. But again, just beautiful. And to walk the whole thing, I think was 4.9 miles. So it's not outrageous walk, but you can see some beautiful country there. Hickory is known as the furniture capital of anywhere. This building, the Hickory Furniture Store, 7 stories of people that specialize in making furniture. And so you're looking for a piece of furniture made out of wood, this is probably where you want to set as a goal to go check it out. And it's pretty nice. Now, Boone is the Appalachian State University's there, and Lanee and I stayed at a timeshare just outside of town here, and we've been to Boone a dozen times or more, and it's a neat little old town. Lots of different places to look at. You can go out to just you head down just south of town a little bit, and nice little railroad set up there if you want to catch it. You're going to see lots of fall colors. This is the timeshare we stay at, and it's just a beautiful place to watch. Not very far from where we're at. You can go up and go to the apple orchard, and they have llamas there on the property. There's just so many things to do. The viaduct is probably shot more than any other place I know of. And this year I was down on the street, on the road that runs to Blowing Rock, and shooting this. And there was a guy there that was running one of those hovering crafts and taking aerial pictures from there. And he was getting some mighty good pictures doing that. North Carolina is heavy in the production of Christmas trees. And so you'll see lots and lots of mountains where they have cleared and planted Christmas trees around. And Lanee and I was lucky enough to stop one time where they were bundling them up and shipping them out to Lowe's. And the one little place we stopped was shipping out 250,000 Christmas trees that year.
Wow.
And we were like, well, that was amazing. And this is Linville Falls. It's just one of many places that you can stop and go, and they got stairways to get down to it. It's an easy walk and very enjoyable. Mass General Store is in the Valley of the Cross, or Las Cruces. And if I said that close to right, that's fine. But we enjoy going here and then going over to the candy store. And the warning I'll give you on the candy store is go to Walmart or somewhere and buy it, because we gave our kids a little bucket and said, just get you 10 items. I think it's 20 or 30 bucks when we got out of there. And we were like, okay, this is a little much, but it's a great place to go. I get my walking sticks there. You can get a good walking stick with a tip on it for about $8. So it's pretty nice. And I don't have any pictures of Mount Airy, but I want to point it out there. That's where Andy Griffith was born. And when you go there, I think it's going to be very obvious to you where they got the screen set for Mayberry RFD, because it still has Floyd's Barbershop, and it's got Wiley's garage. I mean, they even still use the same old black and white police cars with the bubble gum deals on top. And it's pretty obvious where they filmed that at. In Winston-Salem, you see it, Raleigh, Durham. You drop, this is the triangle. If you're looking for a place to go that has medical expertise, that's it. I mean, there are medical schools everywhere. There is expertise in so many different areas, and it's a good place if you're looking for something. Winston-Salem, we're actually looking at Old Salem, looking towards Salem itself. A lot of these is established in late 1700s. And so it gives you a feel for what it was in that time frame of America, to where you can see that. If you have children or grandchildren, drop by the Children's Museum. Interesting place for kids to go work off some of that energy and enjoy the day there. And for the adults, they might want to go to the Incendiary Brewing Company and try one of their beers. I mean, there's lots of craft beer across this state, so you can enjoy one of many. Lots of different opportunities to catch foliage change as you look. One place that we like to go, it's called Replacements. It was started in 1981. It's the world's largest selection of old and new crystal, silver, and collectibles. The warehouse is 415,000 square feet. It has 13 million pieces, 300,000 patterns. And on display, there's 500 different patterns of china there on display. I enjoyed this place immensely. We enjoyed the tour that we took. And this is probably 10 stations, and you bring in your china and they will tell you what they will pay for it that day. And that's what these people are doing, is they're looking and valuing your china to give you a bid. Yeah, you're not going to make money off of it, but they'll give you a bid for it. And they also have another room. All they do, there's 10 people in that room, and all they do is they're online on computer shopping flea markets and buying for orders people have placed with them. And so if you've got a piece that you're missing, they'll search and find it for you. And it's quite interesting. And another deal that they do there, I take a picture of this, but I wanted you to look at those display cases around the room. Every one of them has a front that you can lift up 6 feet tall. I've never seen cases like that, and they have a showroom full of them.
Wait, what's 6 feet long?
The front window raises up all the way to the ceiling. And they must have 20 of these, and it's just amazing.
I asked about them, and they said they came from back in the day. You would go into a jewelry store and you could buy, engagement rings, but you could also pick out your china. And they were these old china cabinets. I was looking at them, I was eyeing them, I'm thinking, wait a minute, how do they open this cabinet? So she showed me.
Had some really good counterweights on it. But another thing you can do is, if your silver is tarnished a little bit, you can send it to them and they'll polish it up good as new and send it back to you for a price. Asheboro, it's about halfway on the way down to Charlotte. I am going to get back to Charlotte here in a second. But this is a zoo and a half, is to say the least. They advertise it, mural on the side of the fire station. It's a North Carolina zoo. And they have 500 acres that's developed. There's over 2,000 acres on the property, and it is a large natural habitat for animals. And they have these southern white rhinos, they have gorillas, they have all sorts of interesting out there, just sort of everybody always talking about free range chickens, free range elephants and free range big animals. And it's quite the zoo. And so worth taking your kids and your grandkids to see.
Do you drive your own car through? Or is it a
Actually,
bus?
it's got a walking trail for you. And
Oh.
it's people tell me all the time it's a heck of a walk. And I'm going, yeah, it is, because I don't hardly walk anywhere. I mean, 2-3 miles for me is just about, I'm not in Jack's caliber of walking. And anyway, it's quite the zoo. Carolina panther, all pretty neat. Charlotte, that's quite a town in itself. It's actually one of the major financial hubs for the United States. I did not know that. And they love their sports. And they've got, I mean, they love sports here. I was sitting here trying to make a note of all of these. This is the Billy Graham Museum. That's in Charlotte. But I was going to hit the University of North Carolina. Charlotte is there. But I was eventually going to get to the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, that's not my picture, but yeah, that's a picture of the professional football team. There's the Charlotte Motor Speedway. They have the NASCAR Hall of Fame at Charlotte. They also have baseball, hockey. They have lots and lots of sports, and there's very few towns that have that many major sports in a town. If you like barbecue, which I do, Ray's Country Smokehouse Grill's good, or maybe you want to try a Noble Smoke. You know, your only problem here is to not overeat, and so that's the way it is with most barbecue. Then we're going to go to Fayetteville, and of course Fort Bragg is a big base for special operations, and it's there to be seen. You got some old buildings that's been around, just sort of little picturesque places that you can take a shot. Like I said, lots of different crafts beer. If you like Gaston's, that's there at Fayetteville, and others are available. If you're not going to jump out of a perfectly good airplane, they have a skydiving simulator that you can actually go and get the whole experience of skydiving without being way up in the air. And much more my desire than that. And a lot of things you'll find across the South that they'll do reenactments of Civil War battles, and you can go and attend these. And actually, I have friends that actually participate in them, and they get invited from Texas to go, and it's quite interesting. Raleigh's the state capital, a little bit of everything there. You can catch Amtrak, and it coming and going. So if you got an Amtrak station, you can get that far into North Carolina. If you want to learn how to make neon signs, you got an opportunity to learn how to do that. If you want to go to a North Carolina football game, you can go enjoy that. And you, of course, ice cream. You got to go to the creamery there. And theirs is called the Howling Cow. Sort of matches up with the Wolf Pack and the Wolverines. So the cows howl. So the Howling Cow is a good place to go get a dip of ice cream. Duke University's there. It's a very good town to spend a lot of time in. State Capitol, you see that we got 3 different presidents mentioned out front: James Polk, Andrew Jackson, and Andrew Johnson. So they've had a few that's made it to the White House. And just outside of town's Yates Mills, if you like grist mills, and I like to just say how creative a lot of people are. And so they have the opportunity. I don't see that much water in a decade. They have water everywhere, and it's pretty impressive. I did get to go to the state fair at Raleigh, and that 241-pound watermelon. That's big. 800-pound pumpkin. Okay, I'm telling you, but I love their pumpkin carving, and they are some craftsmen now when it comes to pumpkin carving, and really enjoyed that part of it. And probably one of the best gyros I've ever eaten. I had the opportunity to consume at the state fair in North Carolina.
And we had never seen a Spam collection. And I did not know they made Spam in so many flavors.
Oh yeah, it's like 20 different flavors of Spam, and I said, that's good. I haven't tried that many yet. Then we dropped down here to Wilmington, and Wilmington is if you haven't ever been over to the I was trying to say what the name of this was. It's the Bridal. Oh well, I'll pass the name on it. Anyway, it's the Bridal Chapel, and it's sort of a unique deal inside the town itself. Lots of old homes. I love historic old homes. I like to go take pictures of them. I'd like to live there. I'd like to live there. You catch me saying that often. The Cotton Exchange is a place that has a lot of different shops in it, probably 10 or 12. And so that's where you found Lanee. Every time I was out of the conference, I just crossed the street because I knew where she was spending her time. And you can go very short drive out to the beach. And that's one thing about North Carolina, that Outer Bank is all the way, and you can see lots and lots of beautiful beaches there in that state. Catch you pictures at sunset, just the waves, or if you want piers, you can get piers too. And it's just some gorgeous, gorgeous country there. You can work your way on up, and you can go up there to Moorhead, and it's just very much just all the way up the coast, just boats and piers and places to park your boats. And a different frame of mind. They love their water, and I don't blame them, and they can take full advantage of it. And they're working their way on up north here. And I just want to show you beach after beach is there. You can catch beautiful places. This is at Atlantic Beach. We've stayed there 3 different times, and just walk out of our room, walk less than a half mile, and we're on the beach and enjoying the day. And I've also gone out by boat to the lighthouse, and you can take a tour there. And if a storm is rolled through, you can actually go shelling out on the Outer Bank and get you some nice seashells to add to your collection. The fort is there. You can go to Fort Mason and check it out. If you want to check out the state aquarium, you can go spend time there. That's all within about 6 miles of each other. And at Atlantic Beach, the jellyfish made a beautiful picture. And I'm going to work from there. I'll come back down a little bit. I jumped all the way up to Dismal Swamp State Park. And this is for a whole different group of people that do the inner water, intercoastal water travel. We stayed with one travel club member. They spent 2.5 years doing this, just making the loop. And they would, what'd they say, about 9 months to make the loop or something. And I was amazed by that. And they'd done it several times. And this is just an opportunity to see that and get in there. You can go into the swamplands if you want to. Elizabeth City's another place with older homes. We can work our way down here to Kitty Hawk, and then Nags Head's another place. Elizabeth City, like I said, Lanee and I said we'd both take that house anywhere they want to put it for us, but pretty nice. Kitty Hawk, as you know, is where the first flight was made. You can see the dedication to Orville and Wilbur there, and it's up on a higher area. You can see the little statues and things that's there on the property. And again, the beach is right there, just plenty of beaches to go look at and enjoy in North Carolina. And then Nags Head's an opportunity to go see another lighthouse that's there and enjoy the beach. The thing I was going to say is right across that point, this is just a history lesson, is where Sir Walter Raleigh established a place in 1585 and it failed. And then in 1587, they brought another 120 people there. And they didn't get back for a couple of years to bring them new supplies. And when they got back, there was nobody there. I mean, it's totally gone. And that point right there is where the lost colony is noted. And they attempted one more time and made it stick. But if you've heard of the lost colonies, I just pointing out it's real close to Nags Head. And again, we're back up there in the Blue Ridge Parkway. We really enjoy catching pictures as the sun's going down across the Blue Ridge. And you can certainly catch those anytime. That's why it's called the Blue Ridge Parkway, blue mountains everywhere. And we enjoy it and spend our falls there and have always enjoyed our time. I'm ready for questions.
Well, we have quite a few over in the chat columns, so let me move this over. Let's see. Well, I guess I'll start at the bottom and go back. Stan and Sandra said they loved your gorgeous beach photos. And they said, Fort Bragg has 2 interesting museums. You must get approved before you go. Free museum is newish called Special Ops right in the center of town. Mary's appreciated your beautiful photos. About the China replacement place, Sandra said, you can order missing China pieces from anywhere and sell your China also from your own home. And they said, Hickory Furniture Market has a motel, so you can shop for the weekend, and you need to think, and you need that much time to get through the building. Okay, then these look like they're about the Biltmore house. So the Rankins, Patricia and John, did a Rhodes Scholar tour of the Biltmore at Christmas time as well. And they said it was wonderful. Are you guys on and you want to elaborate a little bit on that? You can hold the space bar down.
Yes, it was not only the Biltmore, but it was Asheville and the area, surrounding area. So actually, the Biltmore was the last place that we saw, and we built up to it. We got history of the Vanderbilts and saw a lot of other things beside the Biltmore. So it was a week of just a wonderful tour.
Great.
Highlight was Christmas at the Biltmore.
Yeah. I felt very fortunate to see it at that time as well.
We went there in the candlelight, the evening also. So it was daytime and evening, 2 different days.
Oh, how lovely. Okay. Let's see, David wanted to know, does the Vanderbilt Descendants still have a vacation residence there? Do you know, Billy or anybody?
I do not think so.
I thought
I-
there's a hotel there on the grounds, isn't there? Is that not there anymore?
The hotel is there. It's a nice big facility, and that may be true. They may have a suite or something there, but I don't think they stay in the home itself.
Well, you know, so I was there a long time ago. And at that time, somebody asked a question in our tour group, and I'm trying to, it's coming back to me. I think the family is there like the week between Christmas and New Year's, and it's closed to the public. And so, I mean, you know, the employees get a break, they get time off, and the family, I think the family's there. Now, that was over 30 years ago, so I don't know if that's still the case or not, maybe 40 years ago. So,
What I understood, there is a place that the family does have, but it's not, of course, open to the public.
I was there January
you were there January
2nd.
Okay.
That was closed New Year's Day, I think, but we were open. You know, it had all the Christmas decorations up. It was really nice.
Yeah.
They
and
did
I have a question. Hello, for Billy.
yes,
I just want to know why you did not include Pinehurst.
I have not been there.
Oh,
Sorry about that.
okay.
You didn't include a lot of places that I've been there too. I could do another whole program that's
Yeah, that's right.
there's so much to see there.
There
For
is
those,
a lot
for
to
you,
see.
those of you who don't know, well, our daughter ended up going to Wake Forest, and the first person in the Evergreen Beckwiths that we ever stayed with lived in that area. And we became good friends with her and her husband. And every time we go down to see our daughter, we would stay with her and them. And then they would invite Sheila to come out on the weekend. They had an extra guest room. And we became such good friends that when she graduated from Wake Forest, they actually came to the luncheon and everything that we celebrated her graduation. So as a result, we became very interested in North Carolina and have toured a lot of the places that Billy had pictures of. But then my husband was a golfer. So we also bought a condo. Actually, we had 2 condos in Pinehurst. And I still have 1 condo on Lake Pinehurst. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful village. And what makes it special is most of in the eastern part of North Carolina is clay. It's hard to really deal with the soil. Pinehurst is built in the sand hills. It's sand. And that's why they could develop this great golf course in Pinehurst. So anyhow, no, but.
Interesting. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a great example of using Evergreen.
Yes.
We've had that happen where we have a couple that live in Hawaii, and their daughter is going to school in the States. And it turns out we had an Evergreen member who was a retired professor from the school, and they lived like a block from the school. And so the parents would go and stay with them, and they developed this relationship and just felt so comfortable knowing that because they didn't know anybody that lived anywhere close to this school. And so they felt like their daughter had someone she could turn to, that was closer than a flight from Hawaii. So I like your story. That's great. Let's see. Stan and Sandra said that the Biltmore is the largest home in America and that you do need to book ahead for your tours. Let's see.
By the Biltmore, you can stay at the Grove Park Inn, which is an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous place to go to. Did you go there?
Okay.
The Grove Park Inn.
It could have been ATC.
I've been there, and I was going to also talk about that, but I felt I talked enough already. So yes, you're right, Esther. It's just, in fact, my daughter just went back there for Easter brunch a year or so ago because we took her there when she was in Wake Forest, and we loved the Grove Park Inn. So thank you.
Is it like a historic place?
Oh, very much so. And they have all Stickley furniture, which actually was part of the Roycroft, which that's where I live, is where they make the Roycroft things. And it's really extremely beautiful, I think. I like it real well, but you can stay there.
And,
Okay.
and eat there. It's very wonderful food. Yeah.
We stayed with an Evergreen right in Asheville. Had a lovely time.
Great. Yeah, we actually have, there's so many beautiful places in North Carolina, and we do have Evergreen members just throughout the state. So, and they could tell you their favorite places.
At Grove Park in December, they also had a wonderful gingerbread house exhibit. And there were hundreds, and then they were judged also, but they were outstanding.
Fun. I'll go online. I bet they have pictures of that.
Well,
That's
it's good.
great.
It's good to see Patricia and John. We'd have loved to stop by and saw you, but we went through Houston so fast that you'd have thought our tail was on fire.
Oh, we're so disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, does anybody else? It's now 8:00 Eastern time. So I think we need to officially end, but if Billy can stay on and if there are any more questions, we can stay on for a little bit. So Billy, thank you so much.
You bet.
It was